Hello. Well, welcome back one more time to your favorite hot, sizzling, intelligent talk show, which is called Talk Shop. And I'm glad that you're all back with me today. Let me say this, as always, welcome to Talk Shop, where we tell it like it is and let the chips fall where they may. And as we always say, folks, you know it. They say, truth crashed to earth shall rise again. And I'm so happy. And one of the comments that I got, I don't remember the name. I'm sorry. I'll find the name and talk about it. He says his children now call him Nation Time. I think that was a response that I got from the USA. So his children call him Nation Time. So even the kids are now talking about Nation Time. So in fact, Nation Time will happen. And like we say all the time, folks, what time is it? And your answer is always Nation Time, folks. Nation Time. It is said, this nation will rise again. Let me start by saying it was quite interesting reading some of the comments. Someone say, hey, KSM, I didn't know that part of you. Really? Yeah, you really didn't know the real part of me. Look, I guess I am really an entertainer, and most of my career, I would say a good 90% of my career has been in entertainment.
Let's look back a little bit and examine some of the things, few of the things that really interest me. One, the private media. No, the private media had a very strange relationship with us. Let me take you back, all right? Let me take you back to when Dr. J was president. Listen to this, you're going to love this thing. Let's look back a little bit when Dr. J was a president. And you know, we had the private media, there were those that were for the NDC, those that were against the NDC, and how they report. So look at this story. Dr. J is cruising in a speedboat with his wife on the sea. They are going very fast, right? Zoo, za, top speed. Now check this out. Cruising at top speed, right? And as they're cruising, the wind is blowing harder and harder, and the wind just blows Nanakodu scarf. And it falls in the water, right? So Dr. J stops the speedboat, and check this out. He stops the boat. He steps out onto the water. He steps onto the water. He walks on the water. He retrieves the scarf and walks back to his dear wife. Honey, I'm bringing the scarf. Right? And gives the scarf back to his wife. The next day, let's see how the newspapers will report it. The palaver, banner headline, miracle. Miracle, JJ walks on water. The Crusading Guide, Free Press Chronicle, Day of Shame. JJ cannot swim. Now you tell me, are we serious or are we serious? Right? But check this out, right? Let's look at the same scenario again. The same scenario, same papers. This time, the one who walks on the water, is the then flag bearer of the MPP, the then Mr. Kufuor. He also walks and fetches the scarf and brings it to Mother Teresa. The same action, palaver, arrogance. Kufuor imitates Christ. The same palaver which said Jesus was a miracle. Kufuor is arrogant. What about those who said day of shame? Command performance. Command performance. Kufuor defies gravity. Now, you tell me whether we can survive in a world like this, where truth is seen through party colors.
This talk thing has always been there too, but it's been amplified now. And I think there's a whole generation that just know me from this talk thing. They haven't seen the entertainer yet. Anyway, like I said last week, there's this big show coming, man. If I'm not coming regularly, it's because I'm rehearsing for this big show that is going to rock Ghana. And it's starting, the show being started on 19th April, I think, on Easter Day. That's where the show is at Kempinski. Take a look at this before we talk more about it. Look at this.
Live at the Kempinski Hotel on Easter Saturday, 19th of April, the icon of comedy has resurrected. He is back in a vintage KSM masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. Limited tickets available from April 1st. A night of music and fashion. Eat good food and digest with laughter. Talal, Lexi, Chemical, and Vienna will pass through this Easter Saturday, 19th of April, 7 p.m. prompt. Eat, dance, and laugh with KSM Masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. KSM is crazy.
All right, we're back. And that's the number if you want to call. You know, you can call and arrange. You can buy a whole table, and there are about 8 seats to the table. You can be whatever. This is the performance at Kempinski. There are more coming. But trust me, old age, as you have heard, is a BITC. This is coming from somebody who knows the deal. But anyway, hope to see all of you on Easter, and we'll hang out, and then more are coming. But the number right there is the number that will get you straight to talk about tickets and everything, tables and everything. Okay? So welcome to the show, and we're back. Now let's talk, Charlie. We want to build this nation, oh. And let me say, as much as we want to build this nation, the vim and vigor that we have to build this nation, trust me, there's the same vigor and vim, amount of vim and vigor somewhere in those who want to destroy the nation. Don't kid around it though. Look, destroying Ghana to many is an amazing money-making venture. That's why we have all these cartels and all these gangsters out there who are working hard, and if they see any single loophole, they'll come in and rape the country. And the raping has been going on, and it's still going on. And if Mahama says he's going to stop the rape and recover the loot, then I'm telling you, Mahama, there's pressure. Don't delay, oh, Charlie. You know these Western Nemanema, they say, oh, the law takes its time. The law takes its time to grind, you know. So you can actually, by the law, Western for law, no, you can actually find somebody who has killed somebody, but the law can take maybe even 1 year to deal with the person because they must take its time. Charlie, we don't have that kind of time, oh. when the law catches you and it is obvious that why Bonia, let's hurry up. When Kufuor came to power, I don't remember the date Kufuor came to power, but you remember he established the fast track courts. Kufuor said he's so eager to recover the loot, he can't even wait. So he's going to do the court system will be fast track, so you can quickly do and prosecute. Unfortunately, there was some persecution, not prosecution, and people took advantage. But all I'm saying is this to the Attorney General: if you have come and you want to recover the loot, don't give us any. The law takes its time. The way you guys were jobbing, we'll recover the loot. We'll recover the loot. This time we would have hoped at least 5 or 6 people have been arrested or are being questioned. I'm telling you, that's the eagerness Ghanaians have to make sure that we correct the system. Ghanaians have this eagerness, essentially. We have messed up too much. We are messed up too much. So let's build this country and get rid of all those who want to destroy this nation. Ghanaians are eager. Ghanaians are eager. So, Mr. Attorney General, I'm not a lawyer. So I know the law takes its time and this and that, whatever. Charlie, we want to see you recover the loot. I'm not talking about false persecution, no. I'm not talking about coming up with things just to make stories, no. I'm talking about the data that you have, that people have raped this country. Don't play Western democracy. We are waiting to see how you are recovering the loot. We are waiting. And as I said last week, the loot thing is that there are avenues for people to exploit. And I said last episode, you can check it, that so long as human beings remain human beings, they'll look for the avenues to exploit. So I am saying again, let's seal those loopholes. And I don't care which party you belong, seal the loopholes. And when the law catches up on you, please act to the fullest extent of the law and see the loopholes. Let this ECG thing, no. Trust me, I actually believe in innocent until proven guilty. And that's a basic law. And I support it, and I wholeheartedly agree that you are innocent until proven guilty. But here's the thing, if you know that somebody has stolen this money, and the evidence there that somebody has stolen that money, then don't tell me I have to wait 1 year because now I have to go through the legal system to prove that the person stole and innocent until proven guilty. When the person is guilty, let the courts act. Otherwise, let me tell you, NDC, you chop your 4 years finished and you have found only 2 people say only loot 2 years, and then you see your own nyanya, what will do to you? Yeah, it's a baby. We were sitting out somewhere, and then you promised us that you are going to come and recover the loot. And we are all eager, waiting to see who was involved in the loot, and waiting to see that the loot has recovered, and praying, say, from now on, Yanko say, we are moving forward with a new agenda, with a new eagerness to build this nation. And we are moving forward, letting the nation workers understand that the times where we'll sit down quietly to watch people destroy the nation and they say, oh, I won't say anything, and those days are gone. Look at this ECG thing. And I'm not saying any premature thing, but if you heard the former managing director, Dubik, he made a statement, and even TV3 contradicted the same statements he made.
Why did you merge the estate department with the procurement department?
Fantastic question. Again, if the committee had gotten in touch with the company secretary, because as managing director, I can't just get up and merge directorates. No. You need the consent and the concurrence of the board.
So the board approved that decision?
Definitely.
A few moments later.
Were approved by the board at the time.
Have I said that? You see, stop putting words in my mouth. Stop dragging me. No, I didn't say that on this show. No.
Dubik.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Dubik.
I said I am not responding to this. I said
let's not do this.
I said the procurement manual
listen,
of every year is approved by the board.
I said to you, I asked specific questions, for instance, about the decision to merge the procurement unit, and the estate unit. You said that was approved by the board.
I said if they had gone for the board minutes, they would have seen what constituted and led to that decision.
So it was approved by the board.
You are saying it because I said I am not going to address anything. Yes, I'm being mischievous. I'm just telling you the truth.
You know, and a whole lot of things. Now you're saying, well, this stolen, your friend is saying, ECG things, you know. Maybe they were just misplaced, but not stolen.
There are containers don't get missing. Containers can get misplaced.
Okay, you say the containers were misplaced.
In my candid opinion.
Good. These misplaced containers did not get misplaced over just a 3-week period or a 2-month period that this administration has been in office.
How would you know?
Based on the details of what, in terms of the auction period.
You see?
And I'm coming. In terms of the auction period of these containers, you would know the period that these containers were sold or auctioned by the GRA. Over time, you import containers with content, and they are misplaced. And as an MD, you don't get concerned about it. How do you expect me to also believe that
from what you are saying,
you are not part of the entire syndicate?
If that's the case, so be it. It will come out in the forensic audit. If that's the case, so be it. Let the record show that Dubik was part of the syndicate. If that is what we are looking for, let's look for it. What would be Dubik's aim to be part of a syndicate to take containers out? Do I live in a container house?
Well,
are my homes, if you have come to my home and it was built with containers, yes, you can say something like that and people will believe you. But the conversation at hand is this. And you see, we keep digressing on the issue. Containers have arrived for ECG. ECG didn't have money to clear the containers. The containers went into an unclaimed area. Yes, the containers were there. Some of them were subjects of an investigation. They were there for a long period of time. As they were there for a long period of time, some of the containers cannot be found. How many terminals are there in the, what do you call it, in GPHA? So, have we gone to every single terminal to determine whether there's MPS? Don't forget. So let's go through all of this. So if you go to GPHA alone, you are not also being fair to GPHA. Let me finish. So there are how many terminals? There's Atlas, there's other. Let's go through all of them. Don't say I went here and I counted and that was it. Let's go through all of them, or let's go into the system.
So because you classify this as misplacement and not missing, would you say containers found in fabrication companies and warehouses of Chinese were misplaced?
How were they? How would you call those containers missing? How did they leave?
No, I'm saying I'm using your own terminology.
No, yeah, so I'm responding to you. How did the container leave the port?
Mama, you are not aware of how these containers left the port as former MD? And you never asked questions?
Do I work at customs?
You never asked questions?
Do I work at GPHA?
No. So you never asked questions until now?
You know, the Ghana ports or whatever, they have so many areas. So it is possible that some of the containers were misplaced and not stolen. Massa, I don't care how many avenues or places you say the ports have. I don't care. If you call yourself a serious port, then you should have the digital analysis to make sure that everything you have received has been tracked. TRACKED. You are tracking BBR that has been received, and I can go to the computer and just type in ECG, whatever, and then it will come up with a list of things that we have imported from ECG, of things that have arrived at the port, and a list of where they are. Common sense. If you say you're a port that is competing in this era, 2025, this dynamic era, and you have a port, Pacho, anything you import, and I'm sure that's how you do it anyway, anything you should import, I should be able to go by the computer, somebody type in ECG, whatever, and a list of everything I've imported that has gone through the ports, dating back the last 5-10 years, I don't know, but everything should be available on the computer screen. Not available said they have arrived though, but they have arrived and this is where their location is. So that if I want to go and search for the container I arrived, you can look at the thing and tell me, oh, KSM, go here, it is there. Why? Because the information is there. Go there, it is there. Why? Because the information is there. So that nobody can get up and tell me, oh, we can't find them, oh, but maybe they are not stolen. Maybe they have been misplaced.
Containers don't get missing. Containers can get misplaced.
Oh, I don't know what to say. Maybe they have been misplaced. Well, if that is the system you have, may be very fair. If in fact Ghana ports and all these places, if the system you have say all the containers that come in, you have no way of tracking them, and you can misplace there because the port is so big. It might misplace. If that's the system you have, then it is a damn shame. And then you better get your act together to make sure that you change from that. But I don't believe that that's the system you have. I believe that I can walk into the ports at any time and whatever I've imported, if it has come to Ghana, there's a record of where it is and where I can find out. Where I can find it, sorry. But don't tell me, say, it can come and it be misplaced and so maybe they are not stolen, they have just been misplaced. Madam fool, give me a break. As Americans would say, you can tell that to the Marines. I'm not saying you are lying, I say I don't believe it. Because it doesn't sound credible. And all I'm saying is, I am Papa, if it is true that the port is so huge that things can be misplaced and not stolen, then the ports, you have a long way to go because you cannot survive the energy and the dynamism of 2025 with the port that when things come in, they don't know where they are. And I'm sure there are many of you at the port saying, KSM, don't mind him. It is not true. We know where everything is. And like I'm saying, if in fact you don't know where everything is, and they must you know, things that are stolen, and things that are misplaced are misplaced. Misplaced just said they are not stolen. If you say it's misplaced, oh, they are all there, but we just have put them into certain areas, so they have been misplaced. We can't find them. That is a far cry of there's a cartel in here. They are working and conniving with people, whether it's at the ports, whether it's at the custom, whether it's the ECG. There's a cartel working and conniving and making sure that containers are stolen. I was listening to A+, where A+ was, I'm not saying A+ is giving any evidence, say this is the fact or anything, but he has come up with the fact that some was it trailers and things that were broken around Gumwa, whatever, and people went in there to find out what the trailers were carrying, and they discovered that these are all ECG items that have been misplaced to Gumwa. And say who is what? Misplaced? Folks, Ghana, you know, somebody also commented that he has come. And as a matter of fact, I gave the 11th commandment. Somebody commented that there's actually a 12th commandment. In the 12th commandment, they say, oh, Ghana, why are you killing yourself so much? Something to that effect. What are we doing to ourselves? Massa, and Your Excellency, please, this thing you have mounted, and if you don't drive it with the vim and energy, but you allow the niceties of this Western world, oh, let's take our time, justice grind slowly, and then you will see at the end of the day that those who put those laws into place are part of that same cartel who are looting you. And they will make sure that the loot is covered. And yeah, easy thing, oh. We are very serious. Folks, let me say this. I don't know whether this is advice to all of us as Ghanaians, or this is an advice to NDC as a party. As all of us as Ghanaians, the ideas is what I gave in my last episode, that human nature is that if they can get away with something, they will, unless they have conscience. But if they don't have conscience, they will get away with as much as they can, even if it is destroying the nation. They don't care. Charlie, the choice is between the nation and the pocket. Nation anyway. This big Ghana, me bottom. If there's cash, I can feel the cash in my pocket. So if you give me a choice that Charlie KSM, do you want your pocket full or you want the nation to have clinics? Because give me some cash. That is the reality we are living in Ghana. That is the reality. The bulk of the people who are suffering, who have to go through hardships or basic little things, the bulk of them are out there. And there's a very, very, very dynamic but limited few who are in control. And trust me, they are powerful. And even before you get into government, they will make sure that they have their links on you. So, NDC, the human nature, they say, when there's a way to exploit and rob and loot, I will do it. So, please understand this. A human nature. I'm telling you today, it's human nature. Do you realize how many Ghanaians went to vote? Look at the millions of votes plus that NC got. Do you think they went to do that because they think that Mahama is just a charming man? Or they think that, he has a female running mate? No. They went to vote like that because every Ghanaian is feeling the pinch, say, yeah, Ghana for no. We are killing ourselves. We are doing it to ourselves. So every Ghanaian is feeling that pinch. So if anybody comes and says, I am going to work so that we reset our minds, so that we move away from this negative thing that we're doing to ourselves. If anybody says that, we will heal the person, because we know that is what we need. NDC people, all I'm saying is this. You see how people got so sick and tired of the MPP? You see how people voted against them? Some of them claim, say, it's because some people didn't go to vote, that's why. Well, why didn't they go to vote? It's because they were disappointed. So the bottom line is, if they voted against you, because they were disappointed. If they didn't vote at all, they were disappointed. So that's the key thing there. There was so much disappointment and frustration in the system. That's the results we saw in the last election. And I just want to tell NDC people, don't think you are immune from that. We kicked out the MPP now. So we are immune. You lie bad. We are watching.
Good governance is the foundation upon which a nation's progress rests. In this light, transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership will define this administration. We shall pass a code of conduct for our office holders, and they will strictly abide by that code of conduct.
We are watching. And if at the end of the day, we don't see that drastic difference, like the president promised that we are going to stop this loot, not stop it, recover it.
We shall operationalize the Operation Recover All the Loot and investigate persons we believe have engaged in misappropriation of public property and pursue them to recover such property.
If we don't see that, trust me, you see the dissolution of the people. Again. You know? So please take this warning very seriously. And I know why I'm saying that, because and we can all mess up. That's why I'm saying that. I'm not saying, say, because you are in the NDC, you're different. When you have the opportunity, you won't mess up. No, we are Nipa. The only time you won't mess up is that somebody is watching. Somebody is inspecting. There is accountability. There is transparency. That's when, hey, Chaline, then you watch it. Whatever. So NDC new, MPP new, whatever you are, when you realize that somebody is watching, eyes are open, and you'll be mellow. I'm just saying this to advise the NDC people to understand that they shouldn't think that Ghanaians are not thinking, so NDC is immune. That's something. I don't know whether it's a DNA thing. One day I'll research it. But there's something about us that stands in the way of our own progress. My friend told me a very interesting thing. I don't know whether it's true or not. There's no analytical data to back it, but it says, KSM, watch this show. Ghana folktales. Who's our folk hero? Kwekwa Nancy. Kwekwa Nancy is our folk hero. And Kwekwa Nancy is crafty. And he's crafty to the extent, say, one year he will swindle you. That is Kwekwa Nancy. I know the real typical traditional African people go, tell us stop that, you don't understand the story. It was rather saying that he was smart and black. They'll come up with all, because I've been attacked before for saying that. But I'm telling you, means to me, I listen to stories of Kwekwa Nancy. He's crafty. And he can swindle you. The message in the story of Kwekwa Nancy is that at the end of the day, the craftiness does not pay. I understand that. But the character in the center stage of this Nyan, crafty, and he does as much that he can to swindle you. If the law catches up with him, fine. And I am saying this, if as a people, our folk hero is somebody that's crafty and always want to swindle, there's a problem. I know you can look at the story on the other side. You say the message is say, or trust or be cry, at the end of the day will feel it. But just because there are no systems in place to make sure he feels, just because there are no systems in place to make sure that everything is transparent, at the end of the day, on fail it or win it. And that's why Ghanaians are where we are, because that Subano is winning. Last week I talked about people who are abroad, our own family members who have been able to go to abroad, who are sending money essentially, help us, let's build a house in Ghana, let's do this in Ghana. And family members swindle them. There are millions and millions of stories. I'm not saying that is how we all are, but I'm saying that majority of us, when we get the least chance, let me not talk plenty, because all I'm saying is this. Please, President Mahama, be very, 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 very strong and put your foot down. Because like you being a leader, sometimes most of the people that bring leaders down are the people that are around them. Not you. Whether you are well intentioned, you are meaning, but the people around you too say, "But Masa, say loopholes be o cry, nipanum kan cry." Oh, Masa, look, yeah, I know you want to do the right thing, but if there are some loopholes we can exploit, we too let's exploit them. After all, other parties have done it. Let's not go that way again. No. Masa. That's why on this program we are focused on how we build our nation. And how we build our nation to a large extent is how those who want to build this nation will position themselves in the way that the swindlers want to capsize this nation are not giving any chance. ECG, is a wonderful case study. If you can get to this ECG thing and get to the root cause, like I just said, and solve it at the root cause and make those structural changes. Many people respond and say, okay, KSM, it's not like we don't have laws in this country. Everything that everything you're talking about, we have laws in there to prevent it. So the question is, why don't we apply the laws? So if you use this ECG thing as a case study and go in there and tackle it from the root and restructure and reapply the laws, maybe it's the beginning of something. There's so much you have to do. And I told you, this whole banks, that majority of them being Ghanaian banks, were sadly collapsed for whatever reason, is something that is part of our agenda to bring back the banks. And I'm telling you folks, maybe you may think it's a lie, maybe you think it's an exaggeration, but I'm telling you, when you have a country where majority of the banks are in foreign hands, trust me, a national security concern. You may not think that now, but then again, that's the problem. We never think about the future. It's all about the now. For now, it's okay to have all the big banks from abroad everywhere, and your own country does not represent you when it comes to the financial sector. You are not the dominating character. It's a national security issue. And we'll get there. Gradually. We'll get there. But folks, and this thing called JANDAM, the eagerness that we have to bring a government down, it's really JANDAM. And I say that Ghanaians, because of our partisan nature, is always in our interest to make sure that whichever government is in power, the other people or segment that doesn't support it should bring it down. And so we do anything that we think will make any government look bad. Fine. If the government is doing something bad, let me know. I'll be the first to talk about it with the evidence, by the way. With the evidence. You know? So if there's anything going on that is not good, I don't care who is in power. Would you bring me and we see the evidence? I trust you, my producer will put it out there and show this is the evidence. But for crying out loud, if you're so eager to bring a government down because you don't have any evidence, but you're so eager, say, you can't wait. Massa, what was this recent conference? Reverend, is it in Ntim something? Had a conference about how some planes have entered our territory and these planes are carrying narcotics and money laundering. Created the whole thing.
On the matter of air med flights and Kavok Air private jets transporting suspected cocaine and cash. Ladies and gentlemen, on another security matter related to our airspace, the Minority Caucus calls on national security to, as a matter of urgency, make public the content of cargo suspected to be cocaine and cash transported into the country by two suspicious flights, namely Air Med flights NH23AM and Kavok Air private jets Antonov An-12B, which landed on the tarmac of Kotoka International Airport in March 2025 from Gran Canaria, an island of Spain, and departed to the same Gran Canaria days after their arrival.
In the last few days, the disinformation machine of the new Patriotic Party has been ratcheted up, and they've taken it a notch higher. This time, Reverend Ntim Fordjour, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for the good people of Asin South, has made very wild claims to the effect that two aircrafts which passed through Ghana for various reasons were carrying drugs, and that was the reason why they were here. He also alleged that they were involved in money laundering, and therefore he was calling for investigations. As you may be aware, President Mahama gave him the opportunity to present any evidence or any basis he has for making that claim to the security services, so that together we could look into the matter to ascertain whether there was any truth in it. I can report to you that because he knew he was peddling total falsehoods and lies, he now claims, after being invited to assist with investigations, that he was speaking on behalf of the committee that he was part of, and that the views he expressed were not his personal views. So because of that, he says he's unable to cooperate with the security agencies. I say that he was peddling falsehood because the facts as they exist vary completely from the claims that he made. When he made that claim, he was only seeking to peddle falsehood in a bid to undermine the confidence that the people of Ghana have in this government. The truth is that 2 aircrafts with completely different purposes arrived in Ghana, and their arrival was perfectly legitimate, and they were here for very genuine reasons. The first one is an Antonov flight 12BK with registration number CVK 7037. Now this flight essentially is a cargo plane which arrived on the 12th of March 2025. Now no plane arrives in Ghana without a landing permit. So this plane secured a landing permit with number GAF/TMAO/25/7863. Now the purpose for arriving in Ghana was what we call a technical stop. Essentially, this is a cargo flight that was destined for the European Union market. And European Union regulations dictate that some specific regulatory requirements be met before any plane of that sort can enter the EU. Now, this plane originated from Luanda in Angola. It was loaded with oil drill equipment and lubricant oil, which were contained in jerrycans. It was headed for the EU market. Now, Luanda does not have the certification to carry out the sort of requirements that this plane had to meet before entering the EU market. Now, the specific requirement is a scanning and screening RA3 procedure, which is a requirement to enter the European Union. Luanda doesn't have it. The Swiss cargo facility at the Kotoka International Airport has that certification, and they can do that kind of scanning. Whilst here, it developed an engine blade fault. Its engine blade was damaged, and then it was also detected that there was severe oil leakage, which required immediate attention. For that reason, a replacement aircraft, URCEZ, with registration number CVK 7007, was brought in to evacuate the cargo. The aircraft that was damaged remained here for 13 days. That is between 12 March and 25th March 2025. After it had been inspected by aviation security, officials of the Narcotic Control Commission, officials of National Security and National Intelligence Bureau, no contraband or unlawful commodities were found on the aircraft. Now, the second aircraft in question is a Hawker 800 XP with registration number N823AM. Now, this aircraft is operated by an organization called AirMed International, which is based in Birmingham, Alabama, in the United States of America. It operates as an air ambulance. Now, Air Medical International flights in Ghana are handled by Tropicana Airlines. Now, this plane landed in Ghana on 20th March from Gran Canaria, Las Palmas, Spain, having gone through Luanda in Angola. Now, it was also here for a technical stop, which is refueling and crew rest, which is perfectly legitimate activity. Now, whilst it was landing in Ghana, it developed a tire burst and some difficulty with its landing gear, and therefore needed to remain here to be serviced. So another aircraft with registration number N864 arrived on 22nd March with tires and flight engineers from Luanda to replace the damaged tires of the aircraft. Now, once this was fixed, it departed the Kotoka International Airport on 25th March. The aircraft was once again inspected by officials of aviation security, officials of national security, officials of the National Intelligence Bureau, and NACOC, who made sure that it did not contain any unlawful substances, as alleged by Reverend Ntim Fordjour.
Why? Because the government in power must look bad. This is called JANDAM. Reverend, this is what you should have done. Investigate it. Get credible evidence. Say, this is money laundering. This is trafficking. Evidence. If somebody is giving information or you are intercepting, the credible evidence. KSM have done this, so we saw that, say, there are illegal planes coming to this country calling drugs and blah, 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 blah. KSM, here's evidence I was able to collect. Trust me, and I see the evidence, and I see that it is not fake news, and it's not AI generated, but really Ampa. Trust me, you hear about it on this program. But don't be in such a hurry that we have to destroy the government. Say, Binya information, may press conference. Giddy, and we have to watch it very well. Now they are coming in. Please, tell we are anyway, me the menu. Well, we are reverend, the way small boys, so me the bengals menu. So Ntim a bit. That eagerness to be the first to break a story should come with the intelligence. Say, yes, I was the first to break the story, but this was the evidence I had backing it. This is the intelligence backing it, not being the first for the sake of being the first. And then at the end of the day, you start changing your mind, say, oh, me when I was told this and this. And say, please, it's enough. We're entering a new phase. So this new mindset thing, it is one of the toughest things that any nation can pick it upon themselves to do. That's why on the sideline, we say, if that is what His Excellency is talking about, really, we are going to change the mindset. Anything that I can do to put the word out there to support that mindset change, I will. Because trust me, everything begins here. And you Ghanaians listening to me, Ghana, abroad, wherever you are, take my word. And you know, those of you who know that until we change that mindset, Ghana, we can go from MPP to NDC, from MPP to NDC. CP Vokra can come back in again, and then what's the name of the young guy? Cheddar will come, and we'll just be doing what we call a wheel of fortune. Nothing will change. The only change we need comes from here. If we say we won't change here, there, let's forget it. Oh, but because some of us know that Ghanaians are capable of changing their mindsets, that's why we are sitting here every day talking about this mindset change. Because it must change. That mindset must change. Folks, it will change. So let me end up again. All of you who are watching me from outside, Ghanaians and the diaspora, I appreciate your comments. I really appreciate it, But join us here at home. We all need the help. Those of us at home, let us rise and let people understand that, Charlie, we know who we are and we know our capacity or where we can be. And so let's go there. There are more shows coming that will blow your mind. But please, in the meantime, in between time, Ghana first. Don't joke about that. Ghana first. And just on the sideline, please, I'm expecting to see most of you on the 19th. That is the premiere of the show at Kempinski. The number is on the phone, on the screen. Call it and make your reservations.
Live at the Kempinski Hotel on Easter Saturday, 19th of April, the icon of comedy has resurrected. He is back in a vintage KSM masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. Limited tickets available from April 1st. A night of music and fashion. Eat good food and digest with laughter. Talau, Lexi, Chemical, and Vienna will pass through this Easter Saturday, 19th of April, 7 p.m. prompt. Eat, dance, and laugh with KSM Masterpiece. Old age is a BITC. KSM is crazy.
It will move to some few other areas after Kempinski. So don't worry, it's going to be called Kempinski at a later date. It's coming at other locations and you will love it. But in the meantime, I'll make you laugh. Oh. That's an innate talent that I have. But trust me, I'll make you think too. Thank you. Thank you. I'll make you think. Because that is what is going to get us there. Our mindset. And let me end by saying, no matter what, folks, this country shall rise again.